What are you about to witness is a couple of idiots trying to tackle pertinent issues of the world and the internet. They do pull some facts from their rear ends, and also lambast each other constantly like a couple of schoolgirls. Their views are not shared or endorsed by redbuttonjabfest.com or its partners. You've been warned. Please enjoy.
Alright.
This is Tim and Jim tackling tough topics while using webcams.
Woo!
Okay.
What was that? It was really slow. You're like, hey!
This is where we put topics in a Boba Fett helmet.
Yep.
I'm mixing it up. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm going to look into your eyes, which is you're in this corner of the screen.
Which is really weird.
Or is this corner? I think it was mirror image last time after we went to the first episode. Which, if you guys see the first episode, you know we went through a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, all those 4 people who have seen the episode.
I got some Guatemalan friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ready for the first topic?
Sure.
The first topic is, I kid you not, this is actually the #1 trending Yahoo topic. And again, we picked the #1 trending Yahoo topic. I'm seriously pulling from a hat without looking into it.
Yeah.
The first topic is Hershey's new logo.
Okay.
Hershey's new logo. I had to Google image search this once I saw that as a trending topic to see what it was all the hubbub about Hershey's. Stay there, Bullfetto. Hershey's new logo.
Yep.
And I had to laugh. It's like, it just says Hershey, and then underneath it says a Hershey company.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking redundant.
Yeah, well, it's minimalistic. That's it. Yeah. There's nothing really that different about it, really.
Do they have to really say it's a Hershey company when it says Hershey on it?
You never know. There might be
so
another
stupid.
Hershey somewhere.
It's so stupid.
There could be like a Hershey sex shop or something. They don't want to, tell people that there's a difference.
You never. Well, here's the thing. Like, when you think about it, you could go. Could you imagine yourself going to a McDonald's and then underneath the big McDonald's M arch, they say a McDonald's company? Like, do we need that double affirmative to know that this is a McDonald's company?
Yes. Because I get confused. I just want to be sure that it's McDonald's.
I'm going to be honest about that new logo. It's okay. it's all right.
Ooh, that was big.
Big news. Whoa. What do you think about the new logo?
It's fine. I'm not looking at the logo. I'm just eating the chocolate. I don't care what they do.
Actually, before I had all these tech issues with my microphone. Yeah, this time it's microphone tech issues. What would you do if you could design the Hershey's logo?
I don't know. I think I have no idea. The Hershey logo is just fine the way it is. It could just say Hershey's and that'd be fine.
That's all I was thinking.
Yeah, it sells itself. You don't need to really capture people's, attention or anything like that.
Not at all.
Yeah, so.
Yes. So, well, I saw older logos with with a bear, like a polar bear. I wonder what the significance of that is.
I wouldn't even know.
I mean, to me, it's even scary. Like, that bear logo scares me.
Why would they have a bear?
I don't know. Do you know Coca-Cola also has a polar bear too?
Well, yeah, of course I do, because they run those commercials all the time. So.
I know, but you ever, I've been to Las Vegas one time.
Yeah.
And I have to say, sorry, I'm looking off in the corner. I have to say that there's Coca-Cola World, and they have this mechanical polar bear you could pose with, or it's a person in a costume, but it has animatronic head. But it's a really badly done old school animatronic head, where it's got big blazing red devil eyes, and it literally comes towards you like this, like.
Right.
It's the scariest thing ever. I bet you if you Google image, because you Google image search scary polar bear Coca-Cola Las Vegas.
Scary polar bear Las Vegas.
Yes, that's scary polar bear will probably pull it up.
Okay, let me look at this. Let's see. Hold on. I'm Googling right now. Scary polar bear Las Vegas. Yeah, Yeah, it looks like it's pretty creepy. I think I only see like one picture of it.
I seriously thought he was gonna rape me and then eat my corpse after he raped it.
You think everything's gonna rape you?
Ever since that one time, back last summer between us.
That wasn't rape. That was consensual. That was
It's not rape as long as I say I love you.
yeah, exactly.
Are you ready for the next topic?
Yes.
Or do you
Move
feel
on.
like
we
the Hershey
went to
Grizzly
rape.
needs to go on? Fuck it. We tackled that topic.
Yeah. Ooh, wasn't even tackling.
No. More like me getting brain farts every other second.
Yeah.
Oh my. This is not my pleasure of me putting this in there. This is also the number 3 trending Yahoo topic.
Yes.
Which is Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff! The girl from Lizzie McGuire. I thought she was dead a long time ago.
So did I. I didn't know she...
I know that there's a really bad movie that with Charlie Sheen. It's like an anime movie known as Food Fight. And I'm kind of curious to see it because it looks so terrible. And I know she voice acted it, so I'm wondering if that's what's causing her to trend. Unless there's something else I just don't know about Hilary Duff. I mean, she seems more innocuous than like Lindsay Lohan, so I don't really picture her snorting coke in public.
Oh no, I googled it last night. Apparently she had an album coming out, I think this week, and then it was postponed for a couple months, so that's why she's trending.
She's coming out with a new album?
Yeah. Don't get too excited there.
My life! The answer to my life is her album is coming out!
It's been 7 long years.
That was overacting. Are we done with Hilary Duff?
What is that?
You want to talk more about Hilary Duff?
If we done with that one?
Do you like her albums?
I don't know. I've never heard a single one of them.
You ever heard like? I'm sad I know that song. That's the only song I know.
I'm not even gonna respond.
You gotta respond.
No, you dug yourself into a hole there.
Yeah,
I'm not helping you.
No, I'm really, really dumb, brain freezing, and I'm singing Hilary Duff songs. This is probably the best us tackling tough topics ever between our two tough tackling. Okay, this one has been slightly tackled and hummed.
We haven't tackled a single issue.
Well, so far it's like the fluff stuff's been pulled out.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Topic number 3. Ooh, okay, finally something. We're gonna do time travel.
Okay.
Do you think time travel would be possible with the DeLorean going at 88 miles per hour? I'm gonna put you on gigawatts.
Totally possible. It's perfect science.
Do you think time... Okay, without getting too campy, do you think time travel is possible, period? Or do you think that is just a sci-fi wet dream that's never going to come true?
I do not know. I cannot tell you because I don't have a science background and most of it confuses me. But I'll just go with probably not unless we figure something out. I mean, I don't know. I think there are certain particles that can actually they blip in and out of existence or something like that.
There's also things for entanglement, which is quantum entanglement, which Einstein called creepy physics.
Okay.
It's essentially where a particle at this point in time here, then there's a particle that has no relation to it whatsoever, and they both at the same time will orient the same way exactly 100%.
Okay.
Where it's almost like superposition where a particle exists almost in 2 spots at the same time.
Yeah.
And whether that's some kind of weird error that they haven't really solved out or it's really a creepy thing. I mean, everything is like they look at time almost like a wall where it has its own little cracks and holes in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I found it fascinating. Time's also, in a sense, relative. So if someone is going almost near the speed of light, like they're going 90% the speed of light.
Yeah.
And let's say they have a twin brother here. Well, that twin brother, when he ages up to 60, the guy that's going that speed fast, he's actually 5 years old.
Yeah.
Like there's weird little loops here and there when you look at it where you could slow down time, you could theoretically 0 Kelvin, which is absolute zero, which is negative 273.15 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
That is supposedly at that point in time is when time freezes.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
So there's slowing down time and freezing time, but the matter of reversing time or having something exist in a period of time in the past is still kind of, I don't know if that's possible. Do you think, would you want time travel to happen? Like, would you want that to be a possibility if it is? Or would you never want time travel to ever occur with anybody?
Though it sounds really cool, I think that they've done it so many times in movies, it's like if you change one thing, you can screw up everything else. And that's like my biggest fear is if we could do it, theoretically, if like you were to screw something up, you could destroy everything.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and you couldn't trust anyone to really do any. Like, you couldn't trust anyone really to have that kind of.
X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah, like that, or what the hell's that movie? Not movie, the book. Sound of Thunder. What's it called? It's Ray Bradbury, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, just keep talking.
I'm just like books.
Yeah.
People read those.
Let me just see here. Let me just make sure I'm not going crazy. Yeah, okay, A Sound of Thunder by Ray Bradbury.
Good memory there.
But with that one, it was kind of interesting because with time travel, they actually went back in time and they had to like follow a certain path. So there was like this lit path for them to follow, so they didn't touch anything.
Oh yeah, almost like that Simpsons episode where Homer developed a time travel machine with the toaster.
Yeah, exactly.
He steps on a mosquito, and it just messes with time so much. Like there's the one that was like, it's so perfect. His sister-in-laws are dead and all that.
Yeah.
And he's like, please pass me a donut. And I'm like, there is no donuts. He's like, what horrible hell is this? He runs out and it's like, oh, it's raining again. All these
donuts.
Like it rains donuts. Like magically him stepping on a mosquito caused a rain of donuts.
Yeah. That'd be awesome though.
I almost feel like that for your body to exist and to age and to, you know, have all these obvious effects of nature occur to it, it always seems to be in a progression of, like we do a progression of time, and we don't really look at time being an inverse, or you picking a point and you could just live through that to go back to that point and then try to affect it. I almost feel like if you're able to almost like cause like a connection from a present point to a past point, to magically just make that connection, to make it exist, outside requiring a lot of energy, almost folding in space, time.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were doing that, I don't think it's possible, even though I would like it to be, but I think if you're able to and you're affecting the past, at the same time, it's not affecting that same wave that everyone else is going off of. Like, if this is your present, Tim.
Yeah.
And this is my thought. I could be completely just dumb on this, so whatever. But this is kind of like my thought process is. So this is you.
Yep.
And so you're existing at this point in time. So let's say you developed the magical time machine. So I imagine you going back in time. So now you're Tim and you go back to 2 years ago to stop someone from doing something stupid. And then so now there's you.
Yes.
Now do you think another Tim would exist in that past that you have to worry about?
Probably, yeah. Because if I'm going back into the past, it's not like I would stop existing in that past. I'd still be there. Then there'd be two Tims.
You think there would be two Tims?
There would be two Tims because
you don't think that the other Tim would kind of merge in, superpose with you? That could be a possibility.
It could, but I doubt it because me now is different from me in the past, so they can't really connect with each other.
So now you're in the past.
Yeah.
And now you're altering what that timeline is. But I almost feel like that all the people, let's say Jimmy 2014 when you left.
Yeah.
I would still be the same. It's just that you're not there.
Yeah.
But now there's another, like, I think it's a splitting of timelines. I actually think it would be a 2 timeline shift.
Okay.
So there still would be me
Mhm.
to existing down this timeline because you went down into time travel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no Tim. Oh, whatever. I'll grab a burger. And then there's the Jimmy that's getting affected by your choices that you made by looping back.
Yep.
Where, let's just say, you punched me in the face, and now I have these negative memories, more negative memories towards you. This is the other Jimmy that alternates to
Yeah.
hate you more. And there's like the two Jimmy existence, just like you thought there was two of yous.
Unless the fact is that they start to branch off, but then when I jump back into this timeline, the other timeline merges in, and then you're screwed.
There be more Jimmys?
I don't know. But I think, so it's like, okay, so I am in this timeline, then I jump back, I change things, still in this timeline, so this timeline goes like this. I jump back to my original timeline, they merge. So congratulations, you remember me punching you in the face.
This
Okay.
is weird. What about time travel? If you could time travel,
Okay.
what time period would you travel to, and what would you do?
Oh, I think I've thought about this before,
Oh, okay.
but I can't remember where would I go? Man, I don't know. Part of me is like, I think I kind of want to go back to World War II.
Really?
Yeah, and
Do
this
you
weird.
want to like volunteer to be a part of the war? Or do you want to be almost like a witness?
Part of me wants to volunteer. There's just a part of me that's like, I want to go fly planes. They were so desperate for people. But I would be flying planes for Germany.
Wow, that seems fitting.
Yes.
Der Drinkens, that's Mathe, that's Wasser. That's the only German I know. I know very few German words.
Yeah. Scheiße. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. Scheiße. Yeah. Where would you go?
I would go back to stop myself from brain farting earlier in this video. In all honesty, I think it would be cool to if I could have good health. To travel back. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying this. To travel back to the Middle Ages.
Okay.
But not in these clothes, because I don't want to be like
No.
killed as a heretic.
No, you have to go in with those clothes on.
In a weird way, I want to be like, I know it sounds really terrible, but like aristocrat, but before the French Revolution, so I'm not getting my head cut off by a guillotine. And just like, I could just observe to the side with my cane, and I could just be like, they are building this. And then I come up with all these theories, but I just don't want to say them all until I'm dead. And I'd be like, let me tell you about E equals MC squared before Einstein.
So you're gonna be a dick. That's pretty much what you want to be. You want to go back in time to be a total asshole to people.
You got me.
It's okay.
Back to glory holes. Do you want to talk more about the time travel?
Actually, I was thinking. So if we were to go, if I were to go back in time,
Okay.
and I were to meet myself in that time, do you think it would actually cause a collapse?
That you think that it would eliminate everything collapse,
Yeah.
or you just taking yourself?
Maybe it would cause an entire collapse because two of me existing in the same time just because of some kind of massive explosion.
Like don't cross the streams.
Yeah, don't cross the streams.
It's
Exactly.
almost like you're having, in a weird way, you have matter, antimatter.
Yeah.
You always have a positive and a negative. It seems like it's very digital, ones and zeros.
Yeah.
And I feel like if there's a point of view, and for some reason you could create a loop to go back to invert yourself or invert the space-time continuum and then set it straight, and you're going towards a Tim that's, I don't know, I almost feel like that Tim would be an anti-Tim, like you're just saying.
Yeah.
Like you guys are both existing, but it almost seems like you have one that had to revert his states, and another one that's still going on his current state, and then now that you're here in the same time and space, it almost feels like you have to that you would eliminate yourself almost.
Yeah.
That might be the possibility instead of a merger, just be you're gone. I don't know if it would destroy the whole. I don't know if it would just cause everything to suck in on itself.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe that could happen. But I don't want to see that happening. I almost feel like you would suck in on your own self and warp the space-time there. I don't
You're telling me that I'm going to suck myself.
You know, and some of the matter with you go, and it's like,
finally, I can suck myself.
No, not oral sex.
Nope, you said sucking.
No, I mean like, it's like you guys colliding.
Collapse
inward on each other and just go. No, I would be worried about like people time travel because you don't know what they would want to do. I think a lot of people
would have sex with people in the past.
Yeah, and cause weird kids. That explains a lot of weird population right now, I think.
You couldn't let anyone in the South go back in time because they would probably have sex with their moms.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then another thing you have to worry about is them taking credit. Like, people are like, oh man, I love that Nirvana song. And they come back before Nirvana comes up with that song and just take credit for it and make money.
Holy shit! We should go back in time and be
I know how to play these songs.
What?
I know how to play some of these popular songs, so I'm just thinking
oh my god, let's do it. Let's be Nirvana before Nirvana's Nirvana.
Or Beatles before Beatles.
Ooh.
That would be like, what if the Beatles were time travelers this whole time? That's how they got all this great music out of nowhere.
Yeah. Ooh, let's do it. But we'll call ourselves something like really hardcore, like Devil's Asshole.
What was that?
We'll call ourselves Devil's Asshole.
Yes!
But we'll play all the Beatles songs. No sense.
She loves me, yeah. Devil's Asshole, with I want to hold your hand.
Yeah!
Up here, we're bigger than the Satan, and people would be like, at least they didn't say we're bigger than Jesus.
We're bigger than Jesus.
We're bigger than Jesus.
I want to go back.
That caused such an uproar too that time period.
Yeah. Ooh.
People could say that, no one cares. Ready for the next topic?
Yeah.
All right. The next topic is, oh yes. This is what I put in myself. Dreamcast.
Okay.
Okay, first off, September 9th is coming up.
Okay.
And by the time this video comes out, it may be past. Who knows? I am lazy. But this September 9th marks the 15th birthday for the American launch of the Dreamcast. 9/9/99.
Okay.
And I remember. I want to just say this. What did you remember most about the Dreamcast?
Not a hell of a lot, other than playing it with you when we were kids.
Soul Calibur!
Yeah, I remember Soul Calibur and oh god, the other one, the online one.
Phantasy Star Online?
Yes, thank you. That was it.
And you had the people where they had the pre-text selection bubbles, and they like translate even if they're Japanese.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Dreamcast had its own keyboard too, and that's what I got. And I was like,
it was kind of ahead of its time, I think, in a weird way.
it was. It had like its own online service.
Yeah, which was free too, wasn't it?
It was free, then became pay, I think.
Okay.
But it was like an ISP. It was weird because at that time period, you know, this is like before Xbox Live made it an idea of you had to have their service to play games online.
Yeah.
This was, you could, as long as you had an internet connection, you set it up to your ISP, whether it's AOL, because we have to think about dial-up.
Oh yeah.
If you set up with AOL or whatever ISP you had, you could use your Dreamcast online.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Which was awesome. And it actually, online for $56K, I remember playing NFL 2K from across states, across with a friend in Illinois,
Yeah.
and not lagging. Like, I remember playing a lot of these, like, heavy-duty games on a 56K dial, but not remember it being a problem at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was. See, I never had one, so
Yeah.
I always had to come to you to play it. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, the memory cards were pretty sweet too.
Yeah, they're on the little, they call them VMEs, the visual memory cards.
Yeah.
And you could play little, like, really cheap Game Boy games on them.
Yeah.
And you could plug them together. They connected together for two-player games.
Yeah, and no one has done that since then. I mean, they were like the only ones to ever do it.
No, the only thing close is the Wii U gamepad, but that's not...
That's not the same thing.
It's just the idea of a second screen in your controller, I guess they took.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nintendo, you took it from. It's like
Bastards.
bastards. No, the Dreamcast was awesome. It had a lot of great games. It had Shenmue, it had Seaman.
Oh, I forgot about Shenmue. That was a great game.
Shenmue was a great game. And the sad part was that they planned it out to be, I could be wrong on this, but I think they planned out to be 5 or 6 games
Yeah.
originally, and then they were about to do that. They came out with the second one for the Xbox,
Yep.
and then it didn't really sell the numbers they wanted to, and it took so much development time that they're just like,
Well,
that's it.
that game was kind of weird. I mean, for when it came out, because it was kind of different.
Yeah,
It was very story driven compared to a lot of other stuff, I think.
yeah,
But
it
this is
was.
just me thinking. I don't remember because
It
my
really was. And the thing
yeah
about it was that this was a time period where Grand Theft Auto did not exist in the form it does today. I
yeah
mean, this is like before Grand Theft Auto 3.
yeah
So, sure, there was, I believe Grand Theft Auto 1 existed at this time, but Grand Theft Auto 1 was completely different than the later Grand Theft Autos in terms of its open world. And
well, yeah, it was a top down game.
yeah, it
So
was a top down game and it was all about being
just
nefarious,
driving.
you know?
Yeah.
And, before you had these other activities show up in Grand Theft Auto or open world games in general, I mean, Shenmue did that stuff. Where you
Yeah.
had a whole town that time progressed
Yep.
and you could go and barge in other people's lives, or you could go to the arcade and play arcade games.
I remember that the arcade was fun, and then you could also the oh god the collectible like little action figures
Oh
too.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and it had Space Harrier. It had like legit arcade games in there
yeah. And they
outside
had
of
the
just like mini games.
yeah, and then they have like that punch out one too. Like you just keep
Yeah,
punching the punching bag. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then
Man,
it
that
had
was
like
great.
a fighting system. And then it had you racing cranes because you had to have a job to make money and actually pay for
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I
It
mean
was
that the thing is thinking about it back, like thinking about it now. I mean, it was great. It was just so cool.
it was really cool. Like you said, it was ahead of its time. Like this
Yeah,
was before other games kind of grew from that.
yeah. Where it yeah, it was kind of one of the original like open world games. There
Yeah.
wasn't like a set path to really go down. It was kind of just you're free in a
I remember
weird
the
way.
first thing you saw was like a cat. You had to save a cat, and the stilted voice acting makes it kind of funny. But
Oh God,
that was
yeah,
the English translation, though. I don't know. I haven't played the Japanese translation to say, but I figure that their voice acting is probably a lot better.
yeah, probably.
Probably a lot better. But it definitely was a really cool game because it was in Japan. So
Yep.
for somebody like us, obviously, they're born and raised in American culture, and I would love to go to Japan. I don't know how accurate it is, but you get a lot of that architecture, that lifestyle in this
Yeah.
game. They did a lot of really experimental crap, and sadly, the system lasted a year and a half because of Sega didn't really have much money due to the CD, the 32X add-ons for the Genesis, and how the Saturn panned out.
Yeah.
Like this was their last ditch effort, and really, it was a really good way to end if you had to end.
Yeah.
But sadly, it didn't get enough sales because of the PlayStation 2 announcement and what they showed off, and which was kind of, when you look at it, was kind of false advertising for the start. Like the first few years of games did not look as good as what Sony was showing that that's what the PS2 is going to be like.
Bastards.
Yeah, so I kind of hate them for that. But that's
Yeah.
a different Sony. But that was, but the Dreamcast, I remember that day. Okay, I'm going to go off on a story and I'm going to sound really childish, but I don't care. We're on Dreamcast. And it gets me giggly because I love this. Okay, so at that time, I think I was in 5th or 6th grade. So I'm really timing this. I'm really aging myself here. Um, and I remember, like, I was so psyched about the Dreamcast coming out. I was so psyched about it that you could rent Dreamcasts at Hollywood Videos
No.
before they came out. You could rent it
Yeah.
with Sonic Adventure. And I rented it for a few days and was like, oh my god, it's coming out in a month or two. I can't wait. And my mom was like, you want a day off of school? My mom doesn't give me day offs off of school, okay? This is not a case of like, it's the other Tuesday, want a day off of school, son? No, this is years and years and years. And I'm just like, wait, what? She's like, let's have a day off and get the Dreamcast. Got the system, went to Toys R Us, for Isaac, for all that stuff. Came home with it and played Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is a fighting game, but it's so good of a fighting game. There's so much you can do in that game that it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's my Dreamcast story. I'm so attached to a system.
Oh yeah, you were a nerd.
I still have it. I still have all those games. I
Nah.
haven't played it. F this tackling tough topics. Where I'm gonna go play some Dreamcast.
Are you gonna go cry now? You're like, I love you, Dreamcast.
I do. I feel like cuddle it in my arms and just crying on it and see like, ah, Dreamcast.
You left us too soon.
It did. I totally wanted Dreamcast the last 4 years or 5 years because Sega was so like you have to think about all those games, like Shenmue, Jet Grind Radio, all these weird like cool games came out within like under 2 years.
Yep.
Not
And they all went to other systems after that.
like later down the road because Sega needed to make money back and become a publisher. But you had to think about like how many systems had that strong of first 2 years.
Not many.
I mean, I'm not even just talking about sales because you talk about sales. Obviously, a lot of systems sold better than the Dreamcast did in the 2 years, which is sad. But like in terms of games and diversity, can't really say many other systems.
Yeah, no.
But like within the first year or two, you can't. Like maybe as it grows, you know, it gets more diverse. But
yeah,
it's sad. It left too early.
yeah, it did.
I love you, Dreamcast. Ready for another topic?
Do it.
Let's throw that down. I'm not tackling the Dreamcast topic. I'm massaging it to sleep.
I'm jerking it.
Oh, this is actually a pretty serious one. So this
God.
is not trending on Yahoo. This is what I kind of did throw in there myself, just like the Dreamcast one.
Okay.
A little bit more morbid. Robin Williams' death.
Oh man. Okay.
Because the poor man passed away.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago from now. And I almost feel like, not to just touch on it because I just would be a sentimentalist, but I just feel like, you know, it's been kind of time to let it kind of sink in.
Yeah.
And I actually watched a few of his movies recently to kind of like, and then also the matter of his death. I just feel like it's probably something to talk about, you know? And when you first heard the news, how did you feel? Like, where did you hear it and how did you first hear about it?
I actually first heard about it when I was at the vet. I was just flipping through my phone when my dog was getting his nails done or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it said Robin Williams dead. And I was like, okay, no, this can't be real. And so I click on it, I'm like, holy shit, Robin Williams is dead. And so for me, it was shocking because he was such a part of my life as growing up and stuff like that because of Aladdin and Hook and all those other things. So, and I mean, I loved the guy. I thought he was hilarious, and you know, anytime I would hear that he was going to be on something, I'd watch it because he's just so good. And
he's such a charming person, it seems like. Yeah,
and he's so smart too. And sometimes you don't notice it until he starts talking. You're like, this guy knows a lot.
The reason why he could spitfire all those jokes in rows, not because he's just pulling out his butt like I do. He's literally his processing power of his brain is just working that much faster just to do that. And I always find it kind of, you know, like, it's weird. When I first heard about it, I was coming back home from work, and what came on, I have a flash drive in the car, and the flash drive has like about 2,000 songs, and it just randomly goes through songs. And I'm going to totally nerdify myself, but I have Zelda songs on there. And the Zelda song was playing, and literally I turned off the car, and that was the last song I listened to, and then I heard about Robin Williams' death, and I was like, the only reason why I make a connection to that is because he loves Zelda to the point that he named his daughter after it. Yeah. And I was like, that is just weird. I know it's coincidental, but at the same time, I was just like, that is kind of creepy weird.
Yeah.
Also probably like Radiohead and stuff like that, and I was like, man, I relate to this guy more than I thought I did, and I got scared.
What I found really cool about him is when he did that movie, 1 Hour Photo. He gave the little kid in the movie a Neon Genesis Evangelion robot, right?
Really?
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, that's cool, and then I found out that was actually his. Like, he loved that anime.
That is awesome.
So, I mean...
He loves a lot of that nerd culture stuff, or you want to call it nerd culture. He just seems to love a lot of things that I like.
Well, the dude was a humongous nerd, and so it's like, there's more of a connection with him then, because he likes that kind of stuff. He liked gaming. Like, I think there's a great video on YouTube about that game Spore, or whatever it was called, the one where you could make the aliens, and he got to demo it at something, And you just see him like working it and making all these jokes, and it was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's on YouTube somewhere. You just have to look it up.
Wasn't it where with Aladdin they couldn't nominate him because he ad-libbed most of the lines of that movie?
I see, and I never knew that until after he died that he had done that. So
He ad-libbed like 90%. Like that is supposed to be a very accurate percentage or close to it. That he made up most of the lines of the character, like right there.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
which is powerful stuff. What would you say is one of your favorite? I guess it's gonna be hard to say your favorite Robin Williams movie, but what would be some of your favorite Robin Williams movies?
Some of my favorite ones, man, I don't know. It's kind of hard. Well, Aladdin probably.
Aladdin's a good one.
Jeez, Hook is pretty good up there.
I like
And Bicentennial Man, actually,
Oh,
because I think that one is kind of deep, and it's not really one of his funnier ones, but it showed how he's a really good actor, and so it showed that in that one. So
just like Jack.
yeah, Jack was pretty good too.
That was good too. He's a good drama actor too.
Yeah, Robots. That was the other one. I think it was called Robots. The one.
Oh,
with-
Toys.
Oh, not well. Yeah, Toys, and then there was. I think it was Robots.
Oh, Robots, the animated movie. Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah. When he
Who else
came
saw
back.
that? I
Yeah,
should see that again.
yeah, that one was a good one because that's once again him just kind of rapid firing stuff. So
Just spinning it out there, letting it know.
yeah.
Do you think the shock of it, because he is such a big celebrity, do you think the shock was also the manner in which he died as well? Because that is kind of...
I think so because he didn't show anything like he didn't seem from I think the last time anyone saw him he didn't seem depressed or anything like that, so it just kind of came out of nowhere that he had killed himself. So
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just it's such a heavy thing to deal with, if someone needed help to,
yeah,
and I guess there's some other things that came about, like he was developing Parkinson's
yeah,
and stuff like that. So obviously I'm not speaking like I live with the guy or know the guy outside his work.
yep,
But I guess, especially like you said before, is grew up, having him as those title characters in those movies that I love,
yeah,
and seeing his work and appreciating his work, and he always seems like a very light-hearted individual.
yeah,
And it's hard to see that comedic actors could also go through depression as well. I
yeah,
guess is probably maybe the shock. You always put him with a smile on his face versus what he could be actually really struggling with behind the scenes.
well, yeah.
So that's kind of a hard thing to go. So
Well, what surprised me is I read an article that comedians are actually some of the most depressed people you will find. They are extremely sad people, but it's that they put on two faces almost. So you see that comedic individual, but behind the scenes they're very dark and grim.
dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like you read about him, and it's now this is obviously through Wikipedia, so this is not like the source of sources, the end sources. But you read about like interviews like that done with him where he never really got a good relationship with his father, and it seemed like, and he didn't really was picked on because he was overweight and he had to play with his toy soldiers and all that stuff. And he was younger. It seemed like he had a very kind of rough childhood in the sense of being isolated.
Yep.
And I guess in a lot of ways, like a lot of people, I guess, like when you think about comedians, sometimes they do put, like I said, another face or another front to maybe try to express themselves, to let it all out, almost like a catharsis, but at the same time to try to laugh at it when really they're not laughing about it when they're off the stage.
Yeah.
So it could be really hard to,
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of them have issues trying to connect with people and stuff like that. So I think that through humor, they're able to get a little bit more of a connection and have people pay attention to them more. It's like, if I can make this person laugh, they'll like me and stuff like that. And I think it's just trying to get people to like them. So they have to keep they have to constantly be on, like,
to kind of have maybe a hole or a void, not to sound so stereotypical, that they're trying to fill up with something else.
Yeah, because maybe they're just in casual, like, I don't know, normal conversation. It's very awkward for them if they can't talk, like, do jokes and stuff like that. So they always want to be funny or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Oh, that was a downer.
Yeah, let's go. Do something else.
Could do something else, but of course, R.I.P. Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is that we have here.
ISIS, everybody.
Actually, no.
Damn it.
iPhone 6.
Oh.
Because
Fuck.
Apple's doing an announcement on September 9th also.
Ooh.
And it's pretty much about 99.99999% chance that they're going to show iPhone 6 because they always show off a new one every year. That's their cash cow, is their iPhone, is pretty much their iPod Touch with phone capabilities. That's the thing I always found funny about iPhones. I'm sorry, not to whatever. They are durable phones. I looked into getting one myself. I don't think they're bad technology whatsoever. But I always kind of find it funny that conceptually, really, they are not much removed from the iPod Touch, which came before them, except literally Apple kind of took that concept and added phone to it. Yep. Just like the iPad's just a humongous iPod Touch. But I don't know. I don't feel it being creative, you know.
Yeah.
But iPhone 6 supposedly is going to try. It's got a lot of competitors now. You got the Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm speaking for myself because I have a Galaxy and I love it, but not to try to swerve people, in my opinion. But they have competition out from Samsung now with all their devices. They have competition even with LG, HTC. Like, there's a lot of more competent phones, and a lot of that is due to the iPhone originally. Not to discredit it, but do you think that they could really what kind of changes do you think they need to make to the iPhone to really make it so that they're not sitting on their laurels, essentially?
They don't need to make any changes. People are so loyal to Apple, they'll buy anything they have. So you have a set audience that, like, they just love Apple, no matter what they come up with.
Isn't it kind of strange? Because I remember this. Like, I'm really going to age myself, but I remember, like, going back to a mall, like, years ago. Probably roughly a decade ago. And they had an Apple store. Like, that was one of the few Apple stores.
Yeah.
And literally, Best Buy at this time, just to really age this, Best Buy at this time did not sell anything Apple whatsoever.
Yep.
And I remember going to the Apple store and they had their iPod. And this is the first iPod, it's the one with the 4 buttons on top of the wheel, and it was thick, and it had like almost like a Game Boy, original Game Boy screen on it.
Yeah.
And I remember, and this is like before the boom of MP3s, like Creative Zen came up with MP3s first off anyway. Like, people give that to iPod, but they're wrong. But you had Creative Zen and all those other companies that were selling MP3 players at the time too. But the iPod, I remember playing around with it, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And the guy comes by and he's like, yeah, it doesn't work with PCs. You need to buy an Apple product, which is like a few $1,000 to use this expensive product. And I looked at it and I'm like, that's to make this work for PCs. And lo and behold, like within a half a year, they made it for PCs. Then they started selling those products at Best Buy, and that's when I think Apple started turning their fortunes around, was opening up their market.
Yep.
But what I was about to say was funny is at that point in time, Apple was near bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Like literally, no one cared about Apple. The only people that cared about Apple was the island of people that were, like you said, dedicated fans to the product, because it's a quality product. Don't get me wrong, but a bit pricey. And for some reason, due to the iPod boom, and then them kept on going, kind of keeping that rhythm, and then now it's going to iPhone, they grew their base out to people I think are just like almost not really Apple fans as much as just fans of trying to be with it with their friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge thing. So, and you see a lot of like products are iPhone compatible and stuff like that too anymore. And now it's slowly Android starting to get some recognition as well. But at first it was like, you can use your iPhone with this and stuff like that.
So you think that Apple could just essentially carbon copy the iPhone 5 and they'll be fine with the iPhone 6?
You know what I think's going to happen is, and I've heard this a couple of times, is people make fun of the Samsung for having such a giant screen, which to me I like because you watch videos on it.
Honestly, I love the big screen, but also it's thinner.
Yeah,
it's a good screen. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not less vivid or anything like that. I actually had it next to an iPhone, and I noticed the difference in size.
Yeah. But I think the iPhone 6 is actually going to be bigger again. So they're going to jack up the screen size again to where it's going to be like the Samsung. So I don't know. But I don't think there's going to be humongous changes to it or anything like that. I think it's just slight tweaks.
And people will still wait for it and buy it.
Oh, of course they will. I haven't bought a new phone in... This Samsung, I only have the 3, and I mean, that's what, 2 years old now?
But So do you think that there will be anybody that will take away a significant share of Apple, like, with the iPhone 6, or do you think they are just a juggernaut that is just really going to continue being the conqueror of the mobile phone space? Because, Amazon's even made a mobile phone.
Yeah, the Fire one.
Which I actually would like to see in person. I haven't seen one in person. I actually kind of was curious about it because Amazon seems like a pro customer company to me. That's why I was kind of curious about it.
Yeah, but that one is it's an Amazon phone that, like, everything, so when you're searching for things, it goes right to Amazon. So it's very, like, Amazon within Amazon type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Actually, you know what? Google is making that modular phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think
Google is a big company too. Like, the Android is made by Google.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They essentially Windows-fied the mobile space.
Yeah.
Before Windows did it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's kind of the sad part. Windows had this marketplace right there that they developed their OS sooner and more efficiently for these phones, but Android stepped in and knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe something like that would be great because with a modular phone, you can pick and choose what kind of things you want. So if you just want like a simple phone, you can have that now. And then, but you can add on features. So you could add on like a new camera every once in a while. So like new pieces.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can look it up. I don't know when it's. Yeah, but it's just the idea of being able to just swap parts in and out over time. I think is a great way of doing things.
And it's a very it's an old concept when you think about desktop PCs, because desktop PCs you can upgrade the video cards and RAM, and you can also upgrade the motherboards and stuff like that, but that's more expensive.
Yeah.
Like, you could do that with desktop PCs. Now, I would love to do that. I've always been kind of wanting to build my own gaming PC. I haven't done that yet because I'm lazy.
Yeah, me too.
So I kind of go with the view, and plus I'm raised in the console market, so for me it's like I'm just used to the consoles.
Yeah.
Just the easy use on that part, but I do see like the prospect of modular phone being a really good prospect.
Yeah,
if it's priced right, I think it's probably the big one.
I think it should be. The base whatever setup or everything should probably be pretty cheap, and then it's just upgrading it over time. For me, like, when that comes out, I'm really going to look into it because I like that idea of being able to custom fit it to my own personal needs and stuff like that.
What you want.
Yeah, exactly. Just the idea of being able to switch out like the camera feature, I think is awesome. So
because there's people that really want to take those pictures.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That barely use the camera.
Yeah, and if 2 years down the line they're like, oh, we have a new camera that takes it even like higher resolution, and so they switch them out and stuff like that. And it's only like maybe $50 to $60 to switch them or something like that.
Do you think like Google Glass would ever become a phone of the future?
Oh God, I hope not. Just for the fact that phones already are distracting, but now you have it like right in your eye.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I just feel like people.
I think it really is the sense of reality would change a lot with that.
Yeah,
if you're so dependent on getting these cues in your nature to show you to go here, like an arrow, and stuff like that, and you just take it away, it's like you're really becoming dependent on something else.
Yeah, I don't know. It's highly possible. I think eventually we might get to that point. I was reading an article that they think that maybe the watches are the next path to go down.
Yeah, because I know that they do that with the Galaxy. They have the watch that companions up, but then you can do your texts and all that stuff. And
yeah, and I think Apple might be coming out with something too. So
which would make sense, because the Samsung Galaxy Gear, I think it's called, is awesome.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, but then you just look like a fucking Power Ranger.